I'm joined by Willem Buiter. He's an independent economic advisor and he's based in New York. So, Willem, according to an IPOS poll, Kamala Harris has a 45% lead over Donald Trump. What do you make of this?
What matters for elections, presidential election in the US, is not the popular vote, but the vote in about 7 swing states. And in these 7 swing states, we in fact still see Trump having a small advantage of about 2%. The second argument in favor of Trump is that Robert F. Kennedy Jr., the independent candidate, dropped out. He accounted for about 6% of the vote, and I view it more likely that Kennedy supporters would switch to Trump than to Harris. So it's not over yet by a long way.
Who do you think is the best suited to turn around the US economy?
It's a choice between bad and worse, right? I don't think either candidate, to the extent that they have said anything about concrete economic proposals at all, has said much that is sensible. Harris has said very little. She, in a way, carries some responsibility for the policies adopted under Biden, but among the new policies that she's been advocating are some that don't make much economic sense at all, like the $25,000 gift to qualifying first-time homebuyers. Right? What about those people who are too poor to buy a home, even with the gift? Right? It's regressive and will boost demand for housing and therefore boost housing prices. What the US should do is increase the supply of housing, not the demand for housing. Now, Trump's proposals, according to qualified sources like Penn Wharton, would raise the non-interest deficit for the federal government over the next 10 years by 5.8 trillion US dollars. And Harris is doing slightly better or less bad by, I think, according to their calculations, raising the primary deficit by, I think, somewhere over, let me see, what's the figure again? I think it's 2 or 3 trillion US dollars. But fiscal policy today in the US is already unsustainable unless we want to really burden future generations and or create the conditions for financial havoc in the sovereign debt markets.
And in your opinion, what is the chance of a US recession happening? Could we see a real estate crash?
At the moment, there seems to be no immediate threat of a cyclical downturn. The problem is, I can't say that it's going to be 6 months, a year, or even 1.5 or 2 years. But I think the current cycle is not driven by sustainable monetary fiscal policy. So I expect a reversal.
When you say a reversal, what do you mean?
A recession. Some kind of a credit crunch, which would then translate into a slowdown, first in private investment, and also in the end in private consumption, a recession.